he goes dead, then on this, then we'll have to get somebody else to call.
We have to have somebody dial in. Should I start anyway? Okay.
Hi, hang on, we're gonna have you on speakerphone.
Our solicitor's going to dial in. You ready? Okay, thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Rafosco,
She's unable to attend this evening. She's at a work function.
okay. Councilman Waldron,
Present.
Councilman Cartwright,
Present.
Councilman Crestis.
Present.
May I get a motion for approval of the minutes?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for April 20th, 2026.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Crestis,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Minutes approved.
May I get a motion for item number 4?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 4, approving the May expenditures and reports totaling $1,193,041.21.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Crestis,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Expenses approved.
This is where you do that, call for public comment. You can call for public comment, but I don't know that anybody's here.
Just Greg. We have public comment on the agenda as the next item up. Is Mr. Bailey here from the Soccer Association? Doesn't appear to be. How about Mr. Swachek? Just for the public record, public speakers are limited to 3 minutes, so I'll let you know when you're close, Greg.
Okay, don't start the clock till I hand this out. Is that fair?
That's fine.
I wanted to,
Was that included, that was some of the stuff that was included with the things that you already said, right?
yes, some yes and some additional.
Okay, because that was all distributed to council already when you gave us originally.
Okay. In the event that there may be some more, I could have added, because there were some late changes.
These are not packets. I'm giving everybody's getting one.
Well, have that go that way if you could.
Oh, okay.
And then, you know, you could make sure that you can copy the absence of this as well. So if you like to even go back to somebody think that, what is the same idea, those go that way.
Okay, thank you.
You can hand them to me, please. Did it go all the way down?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Greg Swachik, 648 Gramick Lane, and the clock starts. She hears it ticking. First of all, belated Happy Mother's Day to the mothers. Don't know who they are, but Pauline, you mentioned your children and some of your stuff, so Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
The first thing that I'd like to go over quickly is, out of the two packets, the one that says Dear Acting Manager. And I just wanted to draw attention to the back of the first page that that item was addressed last week. So it's a done deal. I did give an advance copy to certain people in our government, and maybe that spurred on that final resolution, because it's been a long time. It's self-explanatory. It has a big green check mark. You can review it at your leisure. The next page is from the Zoning Hearing Board, and the back of the page in general, I'd just like to say we have to take those meetings seriously. Mayor, you know, as an attorney, it's a quasi-judicial process. There's a court reporter, and 3 times you say, is there anybody there who would like to speak in favor of this project? 3 times, and then 3 times again. So we're creating a record, as you indicate many times, is very important. Also, people were supposed to be put under oath. Some of the people were not in the last meeting, and that you can read it, it's self-explanatory. The other thing is a conflict a gentleman had with the police and the zoning. The police department, due to gang activity, suggested dump some of his business wood from a tree trimming service to deter maybe travel of a gang near his home. But the zoning, he followed the police's recommendation as an authority with a badge. And, you know, the zoning hearing board came back later and said, move it. And he said, who's going to pay for this? So we have mom telling the child one thing, dad telling him the other. The child's confused, and so would this adult in this case. So I think we should be consistent, have a united front and understanding between the different entities in municipality of Penn Hills government. The next thing is just a reiteration of what I've already shared with you. Just to remind you and show you specifically the law, I've gotten conflicting suggestions from the patrolman, a detective that I met with recently, and the police chief was very good in doing what he did with Google. So I think there should be no inconsistency. It should be clear what the law is, and it should be enforced across the board. The second packet is self-explanatory, and I can show you that just today I was sharing with Sherry that I did get in the mail a certified pickup that I didn't have time to do. So even though the bottom right corner of the standard right to know FOIA form says 5 days response, this is the 9th day, and I did share with Raina this morning, just checking on the status, that I'm fine with a few extra days to do a good job. There's no big deal there. I'm very understanding, and I know my 3 minutes is up. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I get a motion? May I get a motion for item number 6A?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion we approve item 6A, Resolution 2026-25, adopting the Allegheny County 2026 Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestis,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
resolution approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item number 6B?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 6B, Resolution 2026-26, authorizing the manager to be the designated official to sign and complete all documents and agreements with the Commonwealth Financing Authority for the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council?
Just a quick one, Mayor. Folks who were here last week, last voting meeting, will recall that we sent back some grant proposals because we were concerned about overmatching, and we were looking after the municipal money. This one came back to us. We were happy to see that the local match is only $44,000, $290,000 program for the pickleball courts out here. So much less money out from the municipality. Happy to see it, happy to vote for it.
Thank you. Any further comment? Likewise, I agree with Councilman Cartwright that it's a much lesser number. One of the things that we have to realize is, I mean, honestly, when I first heard about pickleball a few years ago, I thought it was a joke. I didn't even understand why it was called that. But the reality is, that's one of the hottest sports in the country right now, actually in the world. And I know that Oakmont has a court, and one of the few things that will bring people into Penn Hills who typically would not come into Penn Hills will be a pickleball court. That also tends to be a sport, as I understand it, that typically, not always, but often is for people who may be a little older, who maybe used to play tennis or squash or more aggressive sports. So that also will bring people with more disposable income into our area. So although it's a sport, and I think it's not only it'll be another amenity that we offer, and it is a potential destination for us. Roll call, please.
Councilman Prestes,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
resolution approved.
May I get a motion for item 6C?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion we approve item 6C, Resolution 2026-27, authorizing the submittal of a recycling program grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection for the purchase of leaf waste recycling collection equipment.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? I do have a question. Does anyone know, I don't know, maybe this would, I'm not sure who this would go to. So the total amount that we would have to pay for this, do we know yet what that, or, like, is it a set
Yes.
amount, or is it?
If you look at the budget list, the total, our match requirement will be $72,672. But the thing that we have to keep in mind is that we have to purchase the dump truck and the chipper anyway because they're in very poor condition. So this is a reimbursement for our recycling program.
But I mean, so that's, since it's reimbursement, that's kind of set in stone, right?
You have to dot every I and cross every T and submit the grant application, and then they decide whether or not they'll grant you the reimbursement. But the reimbursement that we're asking for is $208,383. And we've been very fortunate in the past. We generally do get the grants approved. So
Okay.
fingers crossed.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
resolution approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 6D?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion, we approve Resolution 2026-28, authorizing notice to be included in the Allegheny County Home Investment Partnership Program for 3 program years, 2027, 2028, and 2029.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Solicitor, I don't know, can you hear me? Solicitor, I have a question.
I'm here.
Okay, I have a question. I don't mean to be jumping the gun, but it looks like 6D and 6E are sort of, one is included and one is excluded.
Say it to me again, Mayor.
6D is a resolution including us in the Allegheny County Home Investment Partnership Program. But then 6E is to be excluded from the Allegheny Community Development Block Program. Are they, I'm just wondering if I can ask if they're connected.
You're either opting in or you're opting out.
Yes. And it's the county program.
Okay?
Penn Hills is an
I
entitlement
would
community.
imagine you want to opt in.
I'm sorry, we have the planning director who's going to weigh in on this.
Okay, for the home program, we're opting in. We belong to the Allegheny County Home Consortium, and this is a regular routine resolution that every municipality, every township, every borough within Allegheny County has to adopt. You either opt in or you opt out, and of course, we are opting in for the program. The second resolution is to be excluded from the CDBG program for Allegheny County, not as an entitlement community. We will remain an entitlement community because we get more funds that way. We won't be applying to Allegheny County for funds. We apply directly to HUD for our entitlement funds.
So does that completely exclude us from HUD or just for this
No,
particular?
just from the county's program, because the county has an individual program for all the municipalities, towns, and boroughs in Allegheny County. Smaller boroughs opt into the program because they don't have, they're not an entitlement community, and they have to apply for their programs to the county.
So like neither of these then should affect something like how we can have seniors, for example, apply for handrails, something like that?
Yeah, that's our entitlement program. That's our
Okay.
CDBG entitlement program. That's what we write the annual action plan for
Right.
each year,
Okay,
and we apply directly to HUD.
okay, thank you.
So, Mayor, did I hear Meg right that she's recommending to opt in?
No, to be excluded from the Allegheny County CDBG program, and Penn Hills will remain its own CDBG entitlement community.
So Solicitor, she said no, to be excluded from the county.
Excluded?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
We're opting into the home consortium program through the county, which we've done for several years.
Yeah, this is a
But
Opting out of
because
the
every 3 years
CDBG.
this is done.
Yes, the county has the 131 communities in the county, and there are half a dozen of us that are large enough to be their own entitlement communities, so we opt out of that, and we allow the
Opt in
other
together.
126 communities to opt in with the county, but we're big enough so we get our own CDBG funding.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
okay, thank you. Any further comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 6E?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
make a motion, we approve item 6E, Resolution 2026-29, authorizing notice to be excluded from the Allegheny County Community Development Block Grant Program for 3 program years, 2027, 28, and 29, and for Penn Hills to remain its own CDBG entitlement community.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes.
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Resolution approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 6F?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 6F, Resolution 2026-30, authorizing the execution of an agreement with the Garnett Bridge for comprehensive professional HR services in the amount of $8,500 per month as a retainer for a period of 6 months commencing on May 13th, 2026, and continuing through November 30th, 2026.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public?
Thank you. Betty Arndt, 172 Highland Road. Just so you know, this wasn't in the packet on Savvy Citizen. This resolution is missing. So that I don't know what happened, but nonetheless, I just have a question. Is this to enable then the eventual long-term manager to make the selection of a human resource director, or is the intention to outsource this for a long term? Do you know?
No, we don't know yet at this point. Any further comment from the public? Any comment from council?
Yeah, just a quick one. It's a 6-month contract. We met with them earlier in the week. I think we all came away impressed, but there's no plan right now if this is going to be the action moving forward. It's a 6-month contract with an HR contractor, so I'm going to vote yes.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Cartwright?
Yes.
Councilman Carestas?
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Councilman Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item number 7?
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman.
I make a motion to approve item 7A, the adoption of PennDOT's policy and procedure for consultant selection.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public?
Thanks again, Mayor. Greg Swachik, 648 Gramick. I'm looking at the letter to Mayor and Council from Meg and the Planning Department, and it's dated April 30th, 2026. In the letter, twice, there's a reference to our advisor, and I know this is just for me to talk and not ask questions and interrogate, but, you know, one of the questions is, when I'm finished within my 3 minutes, if Meg could just identify the advisor and maybe expound on their role or power involving decisions. The other thing is the Rhode Road treescape project. I guess that's still the Shade Tree Commission activity along the shoulders of the road and just restricted, you know, to nearby Rhode proper, not up on the hills, so to speak. And if I could just get confirmation for that. And then lastly, the old William Penn landslide project. I remember, Mayor, that you kind of mimicked what I said, drill baby drill, back in the day. That was quite some time ago. We did get the borings, and, you know, the analysis proceeded with that. And I guess I'm just sort of baffled how, you know, and I'm glad Meg on May 12th is going to submit this thing. We need to advertise to hire an inspection firm, but first we need to have a policy in place for federal funding. And I guess the general question is, are we just learning of that procedure because that road has been, like, messed up for some time? Diane could, you know, testify to that, of a car flipping over. I brought that up before. And I'm just going to make a suggestion. Don't know if it's feasible. We can ask the engineer. In the interim, if the scheduling is such that this inspection take place for the existing condition in order to capture that data, would it be okay, as soon as that's done, to waste less than a truckload of pavement and put a scab on there, knowing it's going to be removed, just to try to mellow it out a bit, because it's a really undulating pavement? I would invite any of you to drive from Jefferson Road near the Monroeville border on Old William Penn, and when you come up to the Sunoco, just realize what you're looking at. You would probably be astonished for those people that haven't, you know, had an opportunity to take that route. So I'll just leave that there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment from the public? Any comment from council?
I just had a question, if I could. The planning director, actually. What is the scope of this agreement, Publication 93? Can you just give us some background on it? I found myself a bit confused.
Publication 93 states, if you look at, it's the last 2 pages in the
Yeah.
packet.
Yeah.
And that describes what Publication 93 is. And essentially what it is it asks that there's a consultant selection procedure in place that PennDOT wants the municipality to adopt. And they're very strict about it, and it's one of the requirements. And our advisor was hired by PennDOT for this grant. She is from McCormick Taylor. Her name is Betsy Zhang, and she advises us what is the next step in the process for all the paperwork that we have to complete for this grant. So this is necessary because we cannot hire our municipal engineer for inspection services. We have to bid it out per
And
this PennDOT publication.
This is all projects dealing with PennDOT or all?
Yeah, generally it is, yes. So if there's a future PennDOT project and we receive another grant from PennDOT, we have this in place and it's adopted, so we would utilize it.
And how often does it need to be adopted?
I believe it's just one time from what I was told,
Okay.
so
And this is a new requirement from PennDOT then?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, we don't have one on file.
But there's certain grants where they ask for it, there's certain grants where they do not,
Okay,
so.
all right, thank you.
Maybe I missed it, but I don't, has that consultant ever come before us? I mean, it doesn't, I'm okay with it if it's somebody you're.
No, she works with our municipal engineer. She's been working with him on the specifications, and she works with the planning department, and she walks us through the steps of the grant that PennDOT requires.
I mean, for the longest time, we were gonna fill in, as your predecessor, Chris Blackwell, used to say, fill in the broken teeth. That was gonna be the big deal. We were gonna make Rhodi, just, start to make us, to the extent that we can, a walkable community. And then that no longer exists. But it sounds like we have to have this signed tonight so this can be submitted tomorrow.
Yes, I need to submit it to them as soon as possible because we have to get the bidding process started because the specifications are almost ready for the Rhodi Road sidewalks, and we want to get that project out to bid as soon as possible.
So is Old William Penn ready to go then, or we're
No,
still?
not Old William Penn. They're still working on the specifications for Old William Penn, but Rhodi streetscape sidewalks is pretty much, they're reviewing the specifications right now.
I'm not suggesting we do this, so don't get scared. I'm just asking. If we were not to pass this tonight and we didn't pass it to our next meeting, does that deprive us or just?
It will slow down the project and it could jeopardize our funding. So
Okay.
it's very, very important that it be adopted.
So we've completely abandoned the Rhodi Road, so to speak, the Broken Teeth project now we're gonna do Jefferson and Universal, that area?
Yeah, and then the other portion is for the multimodal money that we just received. So this is for the first amount of money that we received, and the multimodal, we just received that, and that's another $2 million for Rhodi sidewalks.
So do you
It'll go
anticipate?
down past the shopping center.
Yeah, because like as the garden it's gorgeous, you should see, the garden's been planted, so eventually it will be putting money in that direction.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any further comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Cartwright,
Yes,
Councilman Carestas,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilman Waldron,
Yes.
motion approved.
So now we move to section, item 8, the acting municipal manager's report, please.
Certainly. I did see the Shade Tree Commission on Saturday morning, bright and early, doing their work at the bottom of Rhodi Road. So thank you, folks, for handling that, since some of them are in the audience this evening. I'm going to start off with Public Works at this point and the Recreation Department. Public Works is doing hot patching at this point. The asphalt plants opened up in late April, and weather dependent, they are doing pothole patching throughout the community. They are also going to be getting into some of the small little paving projects that we also do in-house. Our major paving contracts were awarded, so those contracts will be kicking off in the next month or so for both the CD paving projects and the capital paving projects. And as you will recall, that contract was awarded to Tresco Paving Company. Public Works Department is also working on smaller storm sewer issues under our MS4 plan that they are able to fix with the crews that we have working for us. The larger projects are things that we do use contractors for. Parks and Recreation asked that I remind everybody that our Memorial Day Parade is Monday, May 25th, 2026. The parade will step off from the former St. Bartholomew's Church on Frankstown Road at 11:30 a.m. And the memorial service that they have here at the building is anticipated around 12 o'clock, depending on how quickly everybody moves out Frankstown Road. So that service will be here at the local government center. I was also reminded to inform people that this year's Summerfest will take place Friday, July 31st, and Saturday, August 1st. There will be fireworks on August 1st, starting about 9:30 p.m. Summerfest has been a combination of a carnival and things in the past. This year, there will not be the carnival aspect of it, but the the municipality is working with both Rosedale Fire Department number 222 and the North Bessemer Fire Department number 223 to have a lot more kids' activities, additional food trucks, community events. In a meeting that we held with our trash and recycling collection a week or so ago on some outstanding issues, we asked them to please participate in that program and have an information booth, maybe some free little gadgets that they can pass out to promote our garbage and recycling program, and they were very interested in that. The splash pad at Friendship Park will be opening Memorial Day week. Of course, that will be weather dependent. When we're getting down into the 30s in the evenings, it's a little difficult to have kids in the water, but hopefully it's going to warm up real soon, even though it's Pittsburgh. As of April, Penn Hills EMS ran 797 calls of our own, and we used mutual aid for 189 calls for a total of 986 calls for the month. We are at a total of 3,923 calls so far this year. We just received a couple of ambulances, and the newest ambulance is replacing the one that was involved in a crash in 2022 where we lost our paramedic, Nick Theophilus. So we will be having a little service when that vehicle goes into service, and we hope to have some of the public and the elected officials there, as well as the Penn Hills Clergy Association to bless the fleet. Planning Department's been working on a lot of things. They've been working with Urban Design Ventures on the completion of the annual action plan for the CDBG and home programs. Plans for this year's CDBG demolition program are underway. Asbestos testing was completed for the 10 homes scheduled to be demolished under the CD program. There are 2 upcoming land development applications that will be submitted this week to be reviewed at the May 28th Planning Commission meeting. Long John Silver's Restaurant is proposing to construct a new facility at their current business, 300 Rodi Road, after the demolition of their existing building. In addition, there's going to be a construction of the First National Bank building in Penn Hills Shopping Center. As you come through the main entrance in the center of the shopping center, it will sit to the left. I can tell you that they have submitted some initial site plans, and they've also requested a new address for that, which I recently approved. The Planning Department is working on the submission of a couple of grants, the Universal Park Grant, the Duff Park Grant, and of course the recycling grant that was just on the agenda this evening. So that's some exciting news about improved businesses and new businesses in the area. Penn Hills Fire Departments have responded to 248 incidents in April. 15 fires, 19 motor vehicle accidents, 46 fire alarms, 20 hazardous materials incidents. They've assisted on medical calls, on 61 medical calls. There were 23 calls for service, which could include anything from broken water pipes to problems with CO alarms and smoke detectors that they actually go out and troubleshoot to make sure that there are no emergencies in the home that would warrant further action. 55 miscellaneous calls and 9 calls to adjoining communities. Code enforcement for the month of April issued 128 occupancy permits. They conducted 162 inspections, and they generated just short $10,000 of the fees on those permits. 80 building permits were issued, 3 inspections were done, and there was almost $8,600 collected on those fees. There were 21 dumpster requests for the month of April, and dumpster fees equal about $525. 20 street opening permits with fees in excess of $5,000. A few contractor registrations at $50 apiece, and a total of 110 complaints received. 56 of those have been inspected where violations were actually found. Some of them were duplicate complaints, and some of the complaints were unfounded. There have been 68 dye tests performed. And for the month of April, the total sum is approximately $25,600 in fees that were collected by that department. We are in the process of bringing on board, we did lose one code enforcement inspector recently, and we have one waiting to be hired. So come Wednesday morning when our HR consultant shows up, that'll be one of the first orders of business. The person that we're looking at is already certified as a residential inspector, and they'll be able to hit the ground running, so we're pretty excited about that. Does anybody from council have any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, that's
Anybody
all I
from,
have.
oh, sorry, anybody from the public have any questions?
Thank you, Mayor. I guess we're off. Now we're on. Thank you, Mayor. Greg Swatchik, 648 Gramick Lane. The question is, the old racks, that's the Long John Silvers now. When that activity occurs, and I'm sure it's going to be brought up in the Planning Commission meeting, are they going to take extra caution not to disrupt the good measures taken there from the Shade Tree Commission? I noticed driving by that when the whole group was there planting some trees. So I would imagine that they'll be preserved or paid for or replaced or something so that that's preserved.
I would imagine that the Planning Commission will require that they either remain or that they be replanted if they are damaged or moved in any manner. That's kind of outside of my bailiwick, but Meg's pretty familiar with the situation, and she works closely with the Planning Commission, so we'll ensure that their work wasn't in vain.
Thank you, yeah. And the only reason I bring this up, and it's probably not even necessary, but sometimes, as the mayor points out, we're creating a record. So it gives an opportunity to use a word, warn anybody involved with that to, take care of those trees or give us an acceptable remedy if they have to deviate from taking care of them. The other thing is, you mentioned construction in the Penn Hill Shopping Center with a new bank, I think it is.
Yes.
Has there been any movement on additional construction by way of replacing the massive, numerous potholes that you were maybe going to collectively sign a request and keep
Actually-
ratcheting it until we get some action.
Actually, at the last meeting, I mentioned that the owners, at the Asher Group, the owners of the shopping center, had signed an asphalt repaving agreement. They were out the other day, starting to fill the potholes and cleaning up some of the gravel. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of rain in the last few days, and rain is not conducive to asphalt paving. So they are working, and
So it's in the works
it's
as
in the works, and they're
anticipated.
doing it
Okay.
weather permitting.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And just so there's no confusion, that is, the municipality does not own that parking lot. That's not our property. We as a group said we would sign a letter, but at this point, they've already started to take corrective action. As far as the trees go at Long John Silver, they have really been one of the premier businesses in Penn Hills in terms of cooperating, with our vision. So I'm sure if anything would occur to the site that the Shade Tree Commission has worked on, that they would take steps to make sure not to damage, and if they would inadvertently, we really want to be very friendly with them, and if they would inadvertently do so, I'm sure that the Shade Tree Commission would work with them as well to correct anything. So that's a really good thing that's happening, and I just want to move in a real positive direction with that.
If I might add also, the Long John Silver's application's been postponed. They more than likely will be submitting for June. So they're
Okay.
out of Texas, so I think they had some issues with getting everything ready in time for the meeting.
Thank you.
So they did not submit for May.
Any comments from you, Councilman Carestas?
Just two very quick things. To the manager, I hate to hit you with one more asphalt question today, but just curious if the county has communicated at all when they intend to put new asphalt down on Universal. It's becoming extremely dangerous. Every car pretty much swerves into the opposing lane right below Station 227. So I was curious if the county's been in touch when they plan to fix that.
I have not heard from the county specifically, but I do know that they've had some of their folks out kind of evaluating what's going on. So I could reach out to the Public Works Department at the county and see when. And again, with all the rain that we've had recently, I'm sure that set it back a little bit, but we'll do our due diligence because some of the roads really have taken a hit with the crazy weather we've had.
Yeah, outstanding. Thank you. That's all I have today.
Thank you. Councilman Waldron?
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Cartwright?
Nothing further.
I don't want to put you on the spot, Chief, and if you're, I'm happy to make a few comments, but I would like to, if you could just correct me if I misspeak here, or unless you want to say a few words about what we witnessed with the memorial and then with the award, unless you want to hold the award off for later and speak to the memorial now. I can, okay. Okay. People often ask me, they'll say, why do we spend so much time focusing on or sometimes noticing or commenting on the police department? You have to understand we have many departments here, but any municipality, the two biggest entities, so to speak, that anyone looks at when they're moving to a community is the school district and the police department. They want to look at public safety. I'm very proud to say that our school district is really, they've turned the ship around. I'm really impressed with the improvements that the school district is making, and I'm impressed with the direction that they're taking. Having said that, the school district is a completely separate entity from the municipality, and council likewise, we're separate. However, public safety, with the police department being at the top of that, is one of the departments that often gets the spotlight on it because, frankly, that's what the public looks at when they are looking at a place to move to. We are the largest municipality outside the city of Pittsburgh. We've got close to 30 neighborhoods, and I'm very, very proud of the direction that our police department is taking. unfortunately, over the number of years, we've had 3 fatalities, police officers who were shot in the line of duty. Throughout the nation, what they've done is and they're going in reverse order, so those who have been killed in the line of duty closest to in time. And we have Officer Michael Crawshaw from Penn Hills, and so his name was, it's put on a memorial down on the North Shore, and I believe will also be recognized in Washington, D.C. Yes. I have to tell you that as mayor and as council, we're often invited to certain events, and I can tell you that my first term I was invited by the President of the United States to go to the White House, and my second term I was invited to Washington, D.C. I've been to the home of I've met vice presidents. I've been in the residence. They were very, very impactful moments. But honestly, what occurred here for the memorial, I was not expecting to see what I saw. Councilman Waldron and I were here, and we both understood that we were here to locally participate in the remembrance. Then we were invited to go into a motorcade, and we both went on that. I don't know that words can describe what we saw. I don't know. I totally was not expecting this. I don't mean this offensively to anyone. At least for my part, I was just sort of doing my mayoral duty, and I didn't expect to have the emotion that I had. I don't know if you've ever seen a presidential motorcade, but we left here. We were honored to be part of that, and we went up Rodi Road, down Frankstown, and there were some children, maybe about 9 or 10 years old, playing, and they just stopped dead in their tracks, and they were staring and watching the entire line that went. And as we went through Allegheny River Boulevard and Route 28, all the cars, hundreds, literally hundreds upon hundreds of cars were pulled over. And as we were going to the North Shore, I mean, I've never seen or experienced anything like that. We were in the motorcade, and then the police motorcade would go to each exit, and it was for safety that they were stopping people on the entranceway. But it was really quite an honor to just be part of that. And as we hit the North Shore, there was they're getting ready for the Pittsburgh Marathon and other events. And as we were going, people were starting to video it and taking pictures, and you could see that I thought as we went down Frankstown Road that some of these kids might have said to us, "Is that the governor?" And we would say, "No, bigger." And they would say, "The president," and I would have said, "No, bigger." It was Officer Michael Crawshaw. The reality is we were escorting his family to the memorial, and they say it's easy to, or we would say easily, like certainly many of us would say, I would die for somebody in my family, no doubt about it. You might even die, put your life on the line for a very good friend. But these officers know what they're getting into, so to speak, when they sign up for this. I've heard them speak. And they're literally taking a bullet for, frankly, sometimes people don't even like them, but they're out there every day and every night protecting us. And I know that I just take it for granted, and what we witnessed that day was really impactful, and I hope in some way that maybe Vince or somebody can somehow help us put together something, because we have so many services here in Penn Hills, and among them is public service, including our EMS and our firefighters. But the reality is public safety is something we just take for granted. And at some point, I hope that Councilman Waldron and I can somehow convey to you what we witnessed that day, and to never take for granted what we have here in Penn Hills, because a lot of communities do not have what we have. They just don't. We have some more things to follow that will be coming up in the coming weeks and months, and a lot of events coming up. I do hope you will join us for the Memorial Day Parade. That's always a really big event here in Penn Hills. Summerfest is a blast. A lot of really, really good things coming up, and we hope you'll join us in those events because we take so much for granted here, but Penn Hills really is a very special place to live. With that said, our meeting is adjourned, and we hope to see you at the next meeting. Have a very good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.